It's really easy to know when you're exactly 49% of the way through creating a new vision for a company. It's that moment when just about everybody else thinks that you're 100% done. After all, you've interviewed all the key people, you've done the linguistic analysis of their responses and revealed the underlying themes, you've worked with the research agency, you've listened to customers, and in a moment of beautiful clarity, working with the CEO and the leadership team, you've defined what they are and what they stand for. And if you're like us, you've captured that vision in a 7-slide format and worked with the board for it to be signed off. All done, surely. Well, that's when the last 51% starts. Because I remember a few years ago working on the relaunch of a British luxury brand, and I asked the Chief People Officer, what did he think the hardest part of bringing the vision to life would be? And he looked at me and he said, people, Chris, it's always the people. The pure strategy consultants will tell you when you want to create change, there's an 8-step program to follow. You need to create a sense of urgency, build a guiding coalition, look for the quick wins. And they're right. And we follow that. But what the consultants sometimes forget is that you're dealing not with a machine, but with people's souls. That Chief People Officer described it as silencing the cultural echo. And what he meant by that was your budget will always seem too thin to create the big bang you want to communicate the new vision. And once you've communicated the new vision, you'll be battling day to day to get it honoured, while the other necessities, things like selling things, carry on. But the biggest challenge is always going to be people in corners doing things the old way. People following what he called the old maps, vocabularies and perceptions. And the thing is, when you're a luxury brand, the value of the brand is that everything you do is consistent. It determines the products you sell, the people you hire, the brief you give to the architects to design the new downtown store. When you're a brand-centric company, having people doing things the old way, the wrong way, undermines your commercial value. So how do you get people to change? It's a question that's come up again recently as we're working on the turnaround of another luxury brand. With the CEO, we're asking the C-suite to commit to a new picture of the future. And for that to work, each one of them must be able to see themselves somewhere in that picture. But more than that, each member of the C-suite will need to see themselves as active agents, creating their new role in this new picture. And what's the most successful way to do that? Well, we have the vision signed off, so we know we're 49% of the way there. Now we'll work one-to-one with each of the C-suite to help them imagine different versions of the future and their different roles that they would take creating those different versions. Because once they've imagined different scenarios, it will be easier for them to see how they need to change and the impact this will have on them and their colleagues. But there's one more tip, and it's to do with language. And if you know us, it's always to do with language. And that's because we honestly believe that language has a huge capacity to shape people's thinking. Once you change the language, you change the thinking. So as we work with each of the C-suite, we'll ask them to carefully shape their language. We'll help them move from I see, that intellectual stage of understanding the vision, to start using phrases like I feel. So they're using all their senses to understand what's required. And from there, we'll encourage them to use I will, because at that moment, they'll be committing to taking action and breathing their own life into that delicate vision. One thing has already been an unexpected delight working with this luxury brand team. When we started, they saw the development of a new vision as a commercial necessity. But as they've come to look closely at their brand, look at its history and its complexity, they've started to see why customers literally cherish their products and have done for the last 70 years. And so they've started to see that this isn't just about commerce, that there's something beautiful and necessary about what they're doing. And in fact, the world would mourn the brand's loss if it ever went away. So the next few weeks are going to be fun. They're always fun. And if you'd like to find out more about how we do what we do, please email me chris@verbalidentity.com. I hope to speak soon.